Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Feli and today we're gonna have a look at this little visual novel that's called It Gets So Lonely Here. Good, it's a little bit on the spooky side. It's created by Ebi-hime, who, from what I know, creates a lot of different uh, visual novels. I'll leave her links down in the description. We won't be going through the whole game, so if you wanna play, check this out on yourself, you also can do so. We'll go for like 20-30 minutes of the gameplay to have a feel of what this game is like. Let's have a little look. Also, this game is available in a couple of different languages too. But we're doing it in English because it's the only one of the languages I actually understand from the ones it was translated to. You are running through a forest. It is late night and the sky is as black as pitch. There's nothing to light your way save from the moon's milky glow, but its rays cannot reach you, not properly. The trees which surround you, jutting out of the earth like eerie monuments to a foreign god, are blotting out most of the light. You cannot see where you are going. Even if you had commenced your flight at a more sensible hour, however, with the light of the sun to aid you, it would be of a little use. You do not know where you are going. You have no map, no route, no plan. You are running like a frightened animal, anxious and nervy, with no destination in mind. You have no desire, as you run, save to escape. You cannot let yourself be caught. If that were to happen, you are certain that you would be ruined. You have no choice, therefore, but to keep going on and on and on and on, though your feet are screaming at you for mercy. You have no idea how long you have been running. Time has begun to blend together. It has lost all meaning. Something sharp snags at the hem of your skirt, but you do not have the luxury to pause and examine what has happened. Instead, you tag. Your skirt tears, the sound splitting through the forest, and you stumble forward with a shocked gasp. You are free, but at what cost? Your skirt has been irrevocably damaged. It might be too late to worry about such trivial matters now, though. If you do not start running again, and soon, she will catch you. Then, your life will be over. You do not know if she is still following you, but you do not want to risk looking over your shoulder. If you were to see her, silhouetted beneath a tree, looking at you with that sickly sweet smile which once ensnared you, you would lose what little nerve you possess. Your legs would lock up and your blood would freeze in your veins. Then you would crumple. You would fall. She would not hit the ground. She would be there to catch you. Did she not promise, when you made that contract, that she would never be alone? I'd like to take back that silly wish of yours, but it's too late for that. It's too late for a lot of things. All you can do is run. You run, and run, and run, while icy fog swirls about your feet. It is cold enough to suck the heat from your body, and you shudder from it. It feels as though you are drowning. It feels as though you are being buried alive. Your knees and your shins, meanwhile, are bleeding. You cannot endure much more of this. But if you value your own life, You must. You run and you run until at long last you reach a fork in the road. There are three paths which split off through the forest. Well, four if you count the path down which you came. You cannot exactly double back on yourself though, not when you have put so much effort into running forwards. You can only press on. The three paths are signposted, which is something of a strange sight, given you are so deep in the forest. Dark though it might be, you have grown accustomed to the shadows. You can just about pick out the writing on this old, dilapidated signpost, curved and slanted though it is. Your fate, if you will forgive me for sounding cliché, is in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? How about we see if the village will help us in any way? So, you wanna go to the village? Good idea. Let's see what further trials await you there. This night is far from over, as much as you might wish it was, and there's still much and more to discover. Wonder what will happen next. You follow the path which leads to the village, supporting yourself on weary, aching limbs which feel ready at a moment's notice to snap at the knee beneath the burden of your weight. The soles of your feet are screaming at you. You need to lie down, and quickly. The only hope, as you continue to run, you will find a suitable residence in which to rest at the village. You do not know what will await you at the village, but you have visions as you run of a quaint, scenic settlement, all thatched cottages with sloping roofs. Surely there will be a kindly peasant who will be willing to put up a young runaway for a few nights. You can imagine, too, the face of this kindly peasant from a fairy tales you read in abundance as a small child. She will be broad-shouldered and ruddy-faced, with dull brown hair crowned beneath a cap. Her arms will be sturdy from many years of washing clothes and milking cows, but she'll be kind to you and compassionate, just like a mother. You don't know what mothers are like. You hardly ever spoke to yours. You are only guessing. You're not a complete fool, however, despite your tendency to daydream, and you do have a few reservations. Peasants do not, as you know from your voracious reading, have much money, nor do they have much food. It might be hard to convince a resident in the village, even the kindly washerwoman of your fantasies, to take in a complete stranger. Still, you must try. That is all you can do, really. So you run to the village. It takes some time before you finally emerge from the woods. But finally, you manage it. How much time, you ask? I cannot answer that. Did I not say that time had begun to lose all its meaning? The forest is behind you now, Elise, and all the awful nightmares which dwelled within it. It's still cold though, and still foggy. It's still dark, too. The sun has yet to rise. You can see the moon more clearly now, though, as it hangs above your head, round as any pearl, or orb, or crystal ball. The moonlight shines down upon the village, nestled among the hills like a diorama. Hope anew bubbles within you. You have finally made it! Surely, naught but your salvation awaits you. 」 . 」 « 」 . 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « You follow the winding dirt path to the village, looking this way and that. But your hope, such a precious, fragile thing, soon begins to fade. The village, up close, does not look half as welcoming as you imagined. They're cottages, yeah, but they are in a state of disrepair. There are holes in the roofs and holes in the windows. Most of the doors are tightly shut, but others are gaping open. The kitchens beyond them even darker than the night sky which shrouds you. There are no lights on in any of the windows, and neither can you see any people, if some looks like you at them. You cannot hear anything either, beyond the sound of your own footsteps and the low, mournful sighing of the wind. The village is quite quiet, eerily so. It is immediately obvious, even to a naive girl such as yourself, that something terrible must have befallen this village. You know before you try your luck at one of the houses that nobody will answer you. There will be no kindly red-armed washerwoman to welcome you here, no matter how much you wish for it. That does not stop you from wishing regardless. Your knuckles rub smartly against the wooden door. Your efforts soon prove, however, to be in vain. There's nobody here to hear your entreaties. How very sad. You try another door, then another. The result is the same regardless of how many doors you rap upon. Nobody answers you. How could they? There is nobody there. Once again, you have found yourself all alone. At least you have found some dwellings in which you can rest your weary head. Will you utilize one of these cottages for your purposes? Nobody is here, you may as well. But no, an abandoned cottage is not what you're looking for. You would far rather have companionship, would you not? Bravely, you swallow your tears. You wipe your eyes with the back of your arm in a well-practiced motion, then inhale. You square your shoulders, and you keep on going. Surely the village cannot be completely deserted. There must be one person here, at the very least, who can help you. That's what you're thinking as you resume your search. You flit from cottage to cottage with precious little to show for your determination, until you make it another discovery. This village, with its squat thatched cottages bathed in the moon's glow, has a church. Well, of course it has a church. The villagers who once dwelt here were not godless heathens, not that their faith did them all that much good in the end. Still, the sight of a church soothes your overtaxed heart. You were so focused on your fantasies of a kindly washerwoman taking you in, you did not pause to entertain the fancy of a kindly nun doing much the same. All hope is not lost. You approach the church, which seems to tower over you despite being so humble. The church is a small one, but it is stout and sturdy. It must be, for it has withstood centuries, forever standing sentinel on this hill like a relic from a bygone era. The church does not have any stained glass windows, but it doesn't need them. Even without more luxurious trappings, the church still exudes an aura of dignified solemnity. The stone building is fringed by a sizable graveyard, one which occupies the rest of the hilltop and some of its sloping sides. The graves, which have been planted by generations of wardens, are hewn from a similar stone to that which the church's walls are made of. Some of the gravestones are shaped like lozenges, while others are shaped like crosses. A handful of headstones are even shaped like angels, though these are few and far between. There are very few people in a village such as this one who can afford such luxurious vinyl resting places. You look at the tombstones with an almost childlike curiosity, forgetting in your examination of a visceral, haranguing fear which gripped you as you ran through the forest. You are out of the woods now, and you have, subconsciously, already begun to relax. You try to read the names hewn in the mirrored tombstones, but it's dark, and you are tired, and some of these graves are very, very old indeed. You strain your eyes, but you do not have much luck in this endeavor. Oh well, such superfluous details are not important. You eventually tire of examining the graves and turn. This graveyard is an expensive one, unusually so, given the village itself is so small. How can it boast so many corpses? And there is much to explore. You walk about the perimeter of the church, casting your gaze first here, then there, then everywhere, consumed as you are by your immense, all-encompassing curiosity. And as you do, you see her. She looks like an ordinary girl, small and scrawny, just like yourself. But she is much, much more than her unremarkable appearance might suggest. For some moments you observe her, hiding all the while in the shadow cast by the church, like a furtive lizard clinging against a rocky edifice to shroud itself from the sun. There's no sunlight here, though. There's only the night sky, and the stars, and the moon. Beneath the moon's light, a silver implement the girl is clutching shimmers. Takes you a few moments to see what it is that the girl is clutching in her hands. It is not until you see her manipulate it, its sharp edge biting to the earth, that you understand. It is a shovel. This girl is standing in an isolated corner of the churchyard, late at night, and she is digging a grave. Well, you suppose she'll always be digging a hole for the sake of it, but her work seems much too precise for this to be the result of mere whimsy. It's hard for you to see her face, given distance between the pair of you, but her posture is one that speaks of supreme concentration. She moves slowly, mechanically, like a woman on a mission, driving the end of her shovel in the earth over and over. Her motions are regular enough to be repetitive. There is something hypnotic, almost, in the manner which she attends this task. Should you risk interrupting her? Do you dare? You get the feeling that she will not appreciate it. The shovel in her hands, meanwhile, is rather hefty. If she wished it, she could cause you no small amount of damage with it. Cold anxiety makes her skin prickle. You do not know if you should risk speaking to her when she, in her dark cloak with her shovel, looks so very strange. But what do you have left to lose? You have come this far. It would be folly to turn back now. It is with this thought in your mind that you decide to approach the strange girl. Your footsteps are quiet. You have grown accustomed to slinking around like a cat, but they are not quite enough. The girl's senses must be finely tuned, because she blinks. Then she turns. Your eyes meet, and once they do, you feel your breath catch in your throat. You did not have a clear view of the girl before, concealed as you were in the shadows, but now she looking at you, you can tell that she is pretty. Her skin is very smooth, and her hair, though obscured by a dark hood, is very fair. Her eyes, meanwhile, are a clear, cool blue, like ice. Those eyes of hers, which are large with an ease, are fringed with very long, fair eyelashes. She looks as though she has stepped out of the pages of a picture book. She's simply too perfect to belong to this world. Perhaps she's some kind of vision, a waking dream, a hallucination? No, she's none of those things. The shovel she's clutching in her hands looks solid enough, its pointed tip glittering wickedly in the moonlight. You still yourself, expecting perhaps some sort of outburst, but the tension soon drains from the girl's slender shoulders. Her fingers, which once were gripping the handle of her shovel tightly, relax. Her lips curl outwards at the edges. She's smiling, and what a smile it is! It is transformative. When she smiles, she looks radiant, angelic almost. Hers is a smile that is so suffused with light that your eyes begin to prickle from it. You're so relieved. You almost feel as if you could cry. It will not be the first time you have wept during this night, and neither would it be too surprising if you did. You have been through a lot. You must be exhausted. The girl holding the shovel seems to realize this, because she bridges the distance between you cautiously, as one might approach a skittish cat. Then she says, in a rough voice which does not match her dainty appearance, "Well, she does live in a rural village. What were you expecting?" "Oh, it's so good to see another person. I was afraid I was the only person left alive. The only one in the whole world." Now, this is quite the effusive greeting. Her introductory speech is real with exclamation marks. She's far more personable than her affair would make one suggest. You, a well-bred young lady, cannot help but feel overwhelmed. It's your turn now to be on your guard. Anxiously, you observe the girl with the shovel and you ask her what she means. What happened? Oh, do you not know? There's an awful lot you do not know, so much in fact it would fill a whole encyclopedia. No, a whole library. You shake your head, ashamed at your ignorance, and the girl frowns. You mustn't be from around these parts. I guess I should have known. This village is a small one, and everyone knows everybody else. The girl's expression falls. At least, they used to back where there were still people to know. That ain't the case now, though. Not after the plague. There was a plague. That would certainly explain why the village, when you walked through it, was so quiet. Did everybody else succumb to this mysterious illness? That's right, it's just me here now. I've not seen another human being in a long time. It gets so lonely here. Now that is an interesting turn of phrase. It catches on your head like a burr. Have you heard it before? You do not have much time to ponder this, however, because the girl takes a step towards you. Oh, but where are my manners? They must have gone rusty after being on my own for so long. My apologies, miss. You look like you've come a long way. You say you were a traveler, yes? And your hands are very cold, just like ice. Would you like to come inside? Maybe have something warm to eat and to drink? My home's small, I'm afraid, and my food ain't nothing fancy, but I'll be more than willing to share. It's not every day another girl stops by, especially one as pretty as yourself. I'm feeling very blessed. The girl laughs, a carefree, airy sort of laugh which does not match your initial impression of her. You thought when you saw her among the graves that she would be more distant, somehow and more mysterious. Perhaps you are mixing her up with somebody else. You're still unsure if you can trust this girl, but her invitation is an appealing one. It is much more appealing, certainly, to spend the night outdoors in the cold, keeping on the graves. What are you, a romantic poet? Please. You make a show of pondering the girl's invitation, at the very least. You do not want to appear too eager, but your acquiescence is, alas, an inevitability. Why would you ever refuse her? She's the first friendly face you have seen all night. Without her, you would be all alone. I think this moment is a perfect point for us to wrap up. I think this is an amazing introduction to this little short story. Very, very interesting. A lot of question marks, a lot of curious. I really love the writing. I think it really rolls very smoothly. Sometimes it's a little bit more fluff than I would like, but it's a very interesting way of narrating the story. I don't mind it. I just have different preferences. My preferences are not, something everyone has to aim for. It's a very biased personal opinions, but objectively the writing is very good, and I'm sure this story takes interesting turn. I'll leave you guys a link in the description so you can get to each and figure out what that turn would be on your own. I believe there are multiple endings. Like a lot, but there's a few, and I don't remember if I said that, but there's between 2 to 3 hours of reading. So we just touched the surface, which is what I wanted to do for this little video. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to let me know what you felt in the comments. If you need more Felly, there's links in the description where else you can find me. And I'll see you in the next one.